Welcome to the Ford Fund First Book Virtual Reading Party. How's everybody doing? ¿Cómo están todos? My name is Joe Avila and I will be your host today. At this time, please enjoy the welcome video to begin the ceremony.
Hey, it is wonderful to be with you all today, and I really mean you all, because we have something like 350 educators registered for this terrific event, representing over 10,000 students. And I'm also delighted to be here with my friend Elena Ford, who has made all of this today and so much more possible. Thank you so much, Elena.
Hello, children. Hello, teachers. I am so glad to be joining you today in this virtual reading party, first of its kind. And I know that school looks a whole lot different in this moment due to the coronavirus pandemic. And I admire your resilience to keep learning and growing despite the challenges you face and the disruption in this society today. So I'm so excited that we actually have 10,000 students joining us today from Dallas, Houston, and Phoenix. So hi, everyone. I wish I could see you saying hi back to me right now. I'm in Detroit, Michigan, the home of Ford Motor Company, where I work and where I live, and where we make great cars and trucks for over the last 100 years. And I'm joined today by 44 Ford dealers from Texas and Arizona. And to all our dealers, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules and for joining us for this virtual book party. I know you have a lot going on in your stores, and I'm so thrilled that you're committed to helping us with this initiative. In collaboration with our partner, First Book, Ford is helping bring the joy of books and reading to students all over. And by the end of the year, we'll have distributed 130,000 books to schools and students like you across 8 markets in the US and Puerto Rico. And for all the teachers joining us, thank you so much for what you're doing. It's so important. The school experience is so complicated right now, and we so appreciate everything you're doing during COVID-19. And after this call, as Kyle said, we want to invite you to come to the marketplace and customize your order through First Book for school supplies and safety items such as hand sanitizer or even wipes. And at Ford, we believe strongly in the values that include strengthening our communities and helping others. And that's why the Ford Fund, the philanthropic arm of Ford Motor Company, has invested more than $16 million in supporting education initiatives like this reading party. But you know what? When the coronavirus started and we couldn't build cars and trucks, we started building ventilators. We started building face masks and personal protection equipment because we wanted to go back into the community and help hospital workers and responders to keep our society safe. So Andrea is in Chicago today, and she's going to be joining us. So welcome, Andrea. It's great to be with you, and let's give you a big virtual welcome.
Hello. Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. I am so excited to be here. I am in Chicago. It's beautiful autumn weather. The leaves are turning different colors. It's fabulous. First off, though, I want to say thank you, Ford Fund. I'm going to read to you Rosie Revere, engineer. And I want to tell you first where the idea for this book came from. when my son was a little kid, he loved to build things. He loved to build with Legos. I don't know if you guys love Legos or not, but he did. He loved to build from cans of soup in the kitchen. Whatever we could find around the house, he'd be making towers or cars or whatever. I mean, all kinds of things from it. And it inspired me to write a book called Iggy Peck Architect, because I took the words, what if there was a kid who loved to build things? And just as an idea, when you want to come up with an idea for a book, that's an easy way to start. Start asking what if questions. And when you answer it, then ask yourself another what if question. And pretty soon you'll have a story going. Well, I wrote Iggy Peck Architect, and the publisher found this wonderful illustrator in England named David Roberts. And when David drew the pictures, he created this classroom of kids. And they're so awesome. And they remind me of you guys. Everywhere I go, I meet so many kids, and they all look a little different. They're all just as cool as can be. And everyone has a story. Every kid has a story, their own unique story. And one day I was looking at this book, and I noticed this little girl here. I noticed that you didn't see both of her eyes. Whenever you saw her in the pictures of this story, she was sort of sitting with her hair swooping over one eye, and you couldn't tell. Like, she was kind of like, don't call on me. So I thought, I think she's shy. Maybe she's a shy kid. And you know, I love shy people. I'm not too shy. Can be, but I'm not usually too shy. But my sister was very, very shy as a kid, and she taught me that shy kids may not be talking all the time. That's me always talking all the time. But they're always watching, they're always listening, and they're always thinking. And when you give them enough time and space, they will just come up with the most interesting things to tell you and great ideas. So I thought, I bet that kid is maybe a little shy, but I bet she also has a lot of great ideas. And so I thought, what if? Those two words again, what if? What if she was an engineer? And so I decided to write this book. I just took off the cover so it wouldn't fly off. I love on these books too that the inside cover is different than the outside. So there's always something interesting to see.
Now it's time for Q&A with Andrea and Elena. Thank you to the educators, students that send in questions. We have few students here today that would like to ask some questions live. First up, we have Buckner Prep, Cityscape School in Dallas, Texas. Please share your questions with Elena and Andrea.
Hi, hello. I'm the proud principal, Mrs. Wade from Buckner Preparatory. I have a few of my friends joining me in my 3rd and 4th grade classes. Say hello, guys.
Hey guys, and friends.
And we just want to say thank you for allowing us to be a part of this great event. Thank you for donating masks to our schools and our campuses and making sure that we're all safe. I have my friend Haley here, and she's going to be asking a question.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What advice can you give 3rd graders? Students?
And I think that question is for Elena, right?
Yes, Miss Ford.
Yes, Miss Ford.
Say it one more time. Miss Ford.
Miss Ford.
Yeah.
What advice?
What advice can you give to 3rd grade students?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for being at the virtual reading party today. And Andrea, great job. Thank you so much. That was great. I would say my piece of advice to you is spend as much time as you can reading books, as Andrea said, and writing. Work as hard as you can. And find the subject that interests you the most. So as you go through your subjects, whether it's math or science or reading, find what you like and then keep learning more and more about it. But the most important thing to do is to have fun and enjoy school.
Thank you.
Oh, I get to see you now. I can see you. That's great.
And my next friend, I have Jaden. I believe he has a question for Ms. Beaty.
Hi, Jaden.
That's so cool.
What inspires you to make new books?
You know, I think I'm pretty much like you and like everybody else who ever sits down and writes a story. I get inspiration from everywhere. So sometimes when I'm reading a story, it'll make me start thinking about something, and I always try to bring out those two words, what if. Remember when I did the reading, that's how I always start my stories. So I'm like walking down the street one day, I was thinking about giants. For some reason, the word giants popped in my head. And I thought, what if giants came to play? What would that be like? And I started imagining and asking myself, well, what if we played catch? They might throw me over a tree. What if we had a race? I'd be running really, really hard, and I'm not a very fast runner. But as hard as I ran, a giant would just take one step, and they would pass me by. So I just used like the questions, what if, to try to take myself down the road with stories. And that's how my first book, When Giants Come to Play, was written. So every story I have kind of grows from asking questions. I get ideas when I'm out taking walks in nature. Nature is full of inspiration. Maybe reading newspapers, or playing with animals or friends, or just about any place. So there's ideas all around. The trick is that you have to let yourself sort of be open to them. So give yourself time every day where maybe you just take a couple of minutes and you just sort of sit and relax and breathe and think and ask yourself some what if questions. Because you can be doing things all the time, and if you're too busy all the time, and all the time maybe watching TV or video games, and all things are great and fun and wonderful, they're great, but when you're already filling your brain with other things, sometimes you need to stop and just sort of clear your brain, and that's when ideas will come at you. That's a great question.
Well, great questions. Thank you, Principal Wade at Cityscape Schools. Oh, you have a big surprise for us, looks like.
Oh, that's great.
Yay.
Good job.
We have a special message for you. Thank you so much for all that you've done.
Thank you. Oh, that's great.
Thank you, Cityscape, and thank you, Principal Wade. Thank you.
That's great.
Now we have, unfortunately, we have to go to the next question. We have now Ricky Rodriguez from Southridge Elementary in North Texas with 2 questions. Please share your questions with Elena Ford and Andrea Beaty.
Hi, my name is Ricky Rodriguez, and I'm a 3rd grade teacher here at Southridge Elementary. Our first question is for Andrea.
Hi, my name is Laura, and my question is, do you have any suggestions to help us become better writers?
Dude, what a great question. Do you like to write? Excellent, excellent. Yes, I have a couple of suggestions, and all the kids watching from wherever you are, they're really, really important. The first thing is to read a lot. The more you read, the smarter you get, the more you understand things, and the more you understand how to use language just within a story. So you can always learn from really good examples, but you can also learn from not so good books. When you read a book and you're like, I don't like that book very much, ask yourself, what didn't I like about it? What did not work? And you can learn from that. So that's one thing. So reading a lot all the time. The other thing is, when you're reading, also try to read some poetry. Poetry is really, really helpful to help you understand the power of language. Because in a poem, it's only this big, but in just a few words, it can make you have such a strong feeling about something. So it's really like super condensed strength teaching, and also about writing, and it just helps you understand the emotions and the ideas that can come from language. And also they're really short and they're fun and they're just delightful. So I would say do those two things. And the other thing is just write, and write for your own fun, and don't worry about it getting it perfect, because no one's ever going to get it perfect on the first try. Sometimes it takes dozens and dozens and dozens of tries. And I have hundreds of stories that, they have all kinds of problems and they just live in my drawer. And once in a while I take them out and look at them, but I'm really glad I wrote them because they help me understand things. They help me become a better writer. So just try writing, and try writing all kinds of things, and do it because you like it. Write about what is interesting to you. Like Ms. Ford said a minute ago, find things that you really love. I always think one of the most important things you can do, no matter what you want to be, no matter what you want to do in the world, is to just explore things that interest you. Read some books about it. So when I was your age, I was really, really into like farming. So I read books about farming, and then I was really into space. And I read about space, and then about the ocean and race car driving. I wanted to be a race car driver for a while because my first name is Mary Andrea. So people called me Mario Andretti, who was a very famous race car driver back in the day.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Although, I have to say my mom and dad frowned on me at 10 or 11 or 12 having a car. I don't know why, party poopers. But that's the biggest thing, is just read everything and explore what interests you. And eventually you will find that one day, every time you read something and learn something, it's like you're putting a tool in your toolbox. And somewhere down the road, when you least expect it, you will have the tools you need to do something very unique, something that you're the only person maybe who has the right set of tools for. And it's just like a grand adventure. So learning new things is never a waste of time, no matter what it is. So that's my advice to you. And to all kids. And
Thank
adults.
you, Andrea. I think they also have a question for Elena Ford.
Oh, excuse me. Our next question is for Elena.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Natalie, and my question is, what did you learn in elementary school that helps you now at your job?
Well, thank you for the question. Hey, your classroom looks really cool, by the way. You guys look like you got a really cool setup there. I just wanted to say that. I haven't been in an elementary classroom in a long time, so I just want to say how cool it looks. I would say one of the things I really learned was to make sure I finished my work on time and got it in. I was always very organized. And that really, kind of works today. I don't have homework today, but we have a lot of work that we have a lot of due dates that are important and things that have to get done. We have a lot of launches for vehicles, and I'm in charge of customer experience. So we're always worried about how we take care of the customer. So, making sure that you get your work done on time. And then also, I think it's really important, because school is a great place to make friends and have teamwork. And in life, you really go back and you rely on those friends that you make in school. And, at work, you work in teams most of the time. You don't really work by yourself. So building those relationships and those friends and, learning how to have friends and get along, I think is really important. So I think you learn a lot in elementary school that you can take to the business world in the future. So have fun.
That's the questions. Thank you, Ricky Rodriguez and Southridge Elementary. The next question is from, you also want to say, yeah. Bye, thank you. The next question is from Ms. Angela Chassin in her 3rd grade class at Herbert Marcus Elementary School, also in Texas. Tell us your questions for Elena Ford and Andrea Beaty.
Hi guys. We want to say thank you.
Hi.
Thank you. Sorry, they were so excited. So we have here Nancy, who has a question for Ms. Ford. Nancy.
What ideas do you look for in making a car or a truck?
Wow, first of all, making a car or truck is really fun. So there's a lot of things you look for when you make a car and truck. You look, first of all, you need to think about the inside. You need to think about the outside. You need to think about what kind of an engine it's going to have. Is it going to be fast? Is it going to be slow? Is it going to be electric? Is it going to be have gas? What color is the car going to be? What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Dile otra vez.
Pink.
Pink. Pink. Pink cars. I haven't seen any pink cars on the road lately, but I like pink too. But you need to think about the color. You need to think about the technology. You need to think about what kind of noise it's going to make. You know, what kind of chimes it's going to have. On the outside, you need to think about the design. So there's a lot of things you need to think about when you start, even from the sketch of a car. Like Andrea was saying, when you start a book, you know, you get ideas maybe from nature. You know, a designer needs to be inspired as well. So lots of things to think about when you make a car, but it's super exciting. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
So the next question is for Andrea, right?
Yes, the next question comes from Jaime.
Hello?
My question is, have you always wanted to be an author for children's books? Did you begin with the end in mind?
That's such a great question. So two parts to that question. I did not always want to be a writer for children's books or any kind of writer. I never crossed my mind. Though when I was a kid, I loved to write, and I remember doing a lot of it, but because I enjoyed it. But I never was. Wait, there's an interruption. Come here. I don't know if you heard that weird noise, but Josie just came to see us. This is her favorite question too. This is Josie T. Labradoodle. The T stands for thee. Okay, so I wanted to tell you because she made a lot of noise there. The other day she fell off the bed when I was doing a Zoom call and she made a terrible noise and went, what? Oh, Josie. Okay. So, did I always want to write books for kids? No, I did not ever think about being a writer. And it wasn't until I was about 30, which is like, how do people get that old? I don't even know. But I was reading lots of books when I had kids, and I started reading picture books, and I really fell in love with the art form. And so that's when I started writing books for kids. But your other question is, do I think about the end of the story first? Sometimes I do. So when I write a story, I tend to know where it starts, and I tend to know where it's going to end. And sometimes, like when just like taking a trip, I know we're starting in Chicago and we're going to end up in Texas. And I might think, well, maybe we'll go through Kansas in the middle, but then I have to figure out all the other part. And when I do take vacations, this is what my driving looks like. Ooh, so we go all around the place, then we get to Kansas, and then we go to Texas. So sometimes it can be a complicated trip. But I do usually know where I'm heading. And sometimes that even changes. Sometimes I get almost to Texas and go, wait a minute, I wanted to go to Florida instead. And then I end up going there, saving Texas for another day. It's kind of an adventure. What a great question, though.
Thank you, Andrea.
Well, thank you very much. Jaimito say that it's great that you have a plan to get to your end. So thank you very much.
It helps. It helps.
Thank you again, Ms. Jacin and Marcus Elementary. We also have received several questions, but we're sensitive about time. We actually received some questions in advance. I'll be sure that Andrea and Ms. Elena Ford get them. We received questions from Carrollton Elementary, from Houston, Texas, Thompson Elementary, also from Phoenix, Arizona. Actually, I'm going to read this one. This is going to be the final question. This one is for actually for Elena Ford from Adams Elementary School in Phoenix, Arizona. How long does it take to build a car or truck?
Well, this is like my favorite question, right? So we get asked this question a lot. And I think, Joe, we're going to actually show a video of how we make our F-150 truck. But before we roll the video, we actually make one truck every 53 seconds. So we make a lot of trucks. We make them very often. So if you think about that, kids, every single minute we make a truck. So I think with that, Joe, we'll go ahead and roll the video and thank everybody for all they do.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Well, great questions. Thank you to everyone that participated and submitted or asked your questions live today. Sorry we couldn't go to all the questions you submitted, but we will give them to the panelists. Thank you again for joining us. A big thank you to our awesome author, Andrea Beaty. Thank you to our partner First Book, Elena Ford. Thank you very much. Our North Texas, Houston, and Phoenix Ford dealers. Thank you for the continued support. We couldn't do this without you, and thank you for what you do for our local schools. And we have more surprises coming through the rest of the year with this to these local schools. We want students, please remember, we want you to become expert readers. You need to continue reading. We are here today because we believe in you. Educators, forefront through First Book, wants to provide access to educational resources, including books and school supplies to the First Book Marketplace. You will receive an email. Please look out for that with details on how to access your gift credit and also how to place your order. On behalf of Ford Fund, thank you. Have a great afternoon and best of luck with the school year.